and Slavin left and right. Luifau, the quarterback, zips a pass in there. Touchdown, Colorado. Complete to Nelson Spruce. So,
hi again, and welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. I'm Mark Johnson of 850 KOA Radio and your play-by-play voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. The weather is changing. It feels like football here today. The bubble's up behind us as we get you ready for Colorado and Charleston Southern. It's the makeup game this week, of course, after the cancellation with Fresno State. Rick George and company got Charleston Southern, the Buccaneers, to come to town. And we're talking with the new starting quarterback for your Colorado Buffaloes, the freshman Sefo Luifau, who the red shirt was taken off of last week at Arizona State, put into the ball game, and now he'll start this weekend against the Buccaneers. So if I go back to that moment when the shirt's pulled off and you find out I'm going in the ball game, what was that like for you?
A bunch of feelings. Butterfly feeling. Kind of excited. I didn't even think about the red shirt at all. I was just really excited to go in, try and lead the guys down, and put some points on the board.
Did you have any inkling at all that it may happen for that ball game?
There's a inkling at the beginning of the week. Coach said, just be prepared. That he wanted Connor to play the whole game if he did well, but that I had to be prepared at all times. But that's just like any week that I have to be prepared.
Well, that leads me to my next question. Had you looked at this season knowing that the red shirt was on, there was a possibility you would not play this year, had you kind of accepted the fact that that's the way it was going to be, or were you always thinking that I'm competing for a job and any day now it could happen?
Oh, always competing for a job. People behind me are still competing for the QB spot, the receiver spot. Everyone's still competing. Every job is still up for grabs. No one's safe. The best players are going to play. Each person competing is just going to make each other better.
So the red shirt comes off, and Sefo goes into the ball game, and you lead the Buffs on a scoring drive, 11-play, 80-yard drive. Talk a little bit about what your experience like was your first time out there as a college player.
The first couple of plays were pretty fast, actually, a lot faster than high school. You got guys flying around. You have Sutton in the middle coming up really fast. But after a couple of plays, it slowed down. The guys gave me great protection. The receivers caught some balls that I kind of threw low. It just felt great to, get the first one in the end zone, get the first college touchdown. All of that was really special with the guys because they all helped me out.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I look down on the sideline, we're up in the broadcast booth, I look down and see you warming up. It's got to mean a little bit when number 6 came over. Paul Richardson comes over and he puts his hand on either side of Sefo's helmet and obviously gave you a little pep talk at that point in time. That's got to mean quite a bit for you.
Yeah, it meant a lot. He just came over and told me that, it's just like practice, it's just like high school. It's just like any other game you ever played, and that they're out there to help me and they're there for me. So if I needed to, I could lean on them. And, the first drive, they really helped me a lot.
How did you grade yourself after this first ball game?
I thought I left a lot of things out on the field. Obviously the first drive was great. We went down and scored. Then I tried to force one on the first pick. They had the second pick, the safety, and the fumble. All of those are just mental mistakes that I made. That I just got to fix and clean up for this week. So
it did seem after that first drive like ASU really started moving guys around defensively. I don't know if they figured, well, we got the freshman out there, let's see if we can confuse him a little bit. Did you see the same thing?
I don't think they did anything different that we saw on film. Okay. It's just a matter of making the reads quicker, making the protections call quicker. It's just all happens a lot quicker than in practice. But they didn't do anything different. They maybe brought, a couple more pressures on us, but nothing that we couldn't handle. I just have to be able to read it faster. So
a game week now, you're going to be the starter when the Buccaneers come to town to take on the Buffaloes on Saturday. Mm-hmm. What changes for you this week leading up to the ball game?
Nothing changes. Just like last week, the week before that, and the week before that even, you have to prepare. Like I said in the beginning of the year, you have to prepare like you're the starter. And, maybe go in and do extra film. I've been doing a lot of film even when I wasn't the starter, so I don't necessarily think anything changes. We just have to be prepared, even more prepared, because we've been kind of coming out slow out the gates recently, and we just have to come out hot because we can't try and come back from deep deficits.
A circumstance like last week, you didn't know you were going in, and so once you get the nod from the coach, you don't have a whole lot of time to think about it. A week like this where you're going to be the starter, does it help that your first career start happens at Folsom Field at home in front of a friendly crowd?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps. It's good to have the crowd behind you. As the team's always behind me. I don't think it means the most. Obviously you like being at home and behind the crowd, but even if it was on the road, still getting a ton of reps during this week, and with the first team and with the guys, it means a lot.
How about the weapons you've got at your disposal as quarterback? I mean, we mentioned P. Rich a moment ago, and everyone knows the caliber of player that he is. But when you look at this offense and the guys that you have out there as a quarterback that you can utilize, it's a pretty good arsenal, I guess one might say.
Definitely. We have a lot of good players, a lot of underrated players, I think, in other people's eyes. I mean, of course, we have P. Rich, who's an amazing athlete, but we also have Nelson Spruce, D.D. Goodson, running backs Christian Powell, and the rest of them. It's just they're all great. We have so many weapons, and I believe that not everyone can cover us. And once we start clicking and becoming consistent, then no one can stop us.
What do you see from this Charleston Southern team that you're going to face at Folsom Field?
They're a great team. I mean, 7-0, 23rd in the nation. They're just really fast. They play base stuff, but they get the job done. And you definitely can't take them lightly, because they're a team that if you take lightly, they can easily just get up really fast on points. Coach said they run the option, so the offense has to do a really good job of putting points on the board and keeping our defense off the field, because they'll keep the ball for a while, running the ball a lot.
Saturday night in Tempe, you get back to the locker room. How much did your phone blowing up after getting your first college action?
A little bit. Lots of family and friends texting me. I was really happy to see my mom after the game, who was there. My mom and dad will be coming, which will be nice. Really nice seeing them all the time. But I just like all the support that I get from back home, even being so far away. It means a lot, especially coming from a small community like I did. It just means a lot to me having my family and friends call me.
Well, start number one of his college career this weekend against Charleston Southern. Good luck against the Buccaneers.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Sefo Luifau, the quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes, making his first start this weekend. Again, that is a 12 noon game. It's the makeup game after the cancellation of the Fresno State contest. We'll hit the air on 850 KOA at 10:05 and the Buffalo Stampede and network affiliates at 10:35. For Sefo, I'm Mark Johnson once again. Remember, for all things Buffaloes, check out Buffs TV at CUBuffs.com. Right now, for more insight, here's B.G. Brooks.
Hi, this is B.G. Brooks with CUBuffs.com. The Buffs take a break from Pac-12 competition this week, and for several reasons, the timing could not be better. We'll start with the obvious. CU is 0-3 after 3 Pac-12 games, and at the final gun has not been close in any of the 3, getting outscored by a cumulative total of 155-46. I wish I could say it wasn't that bad, but yes, it was. Saturday marks the season's halfway point, and Charleston Southern couldn't appear on CU's schedule at a more opportune time. The Buffs have been overmatched and overwhelmed in their last 3 games, which can help but take a toll on their confidence. That being said, no one in their right mind would characterize unbeaten Charleston Southern as a breather, even though the Buccaneers are an FCS school and have not played a formidable schedule. If that doesn't sound like a test for CU, you haven't been paying attention for the past 3 weeks. Any team the Buffs line up against is a test, and this one, if it turns out favorably, at least could help re-energize them for 6 consecutive conference games that await. Now let's talk quarterbacks, as everyone else is. Freshman Sefo Luifau is expected to make his first college start against Charleston Southern, and no slight to the Buccaneers intended, that offers a better first game matchup than any Pac-12 opponent. With his redshirt pull last weekend at Arizona State, Luifau can now use consecutive home games to gain experience before venturing back onto the Pac-12 road. If he and the Buffs can find some synergy against this out-of-state CSU and keep it for Arizona's visit the following Saturday, they could march into November with a lot to play for, namely a couple of wins to reach 6. It's not out of the question, but there's no time to waste for this turnaround. This is B.G. Brooks. You can read my coverage on CUBuffs.com.